Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Aries here with a video with another video with Aaron as the co-host of Living Simply and Fun. Aaron, what is today's topic?
Well, today's topic's brought to us by some people we know who have not been most generous or kind. Um, this video is kind of about friendship, I suppose you could say, or yeah, friendship. And lying to your friends and deceiving your friends, etc. When you're friends with somebody, you shouldn't go and lie to them. You shouldn't play games with them. They're your friend. You don't do that stuff. It's especially for a person who's supposedly a Christian, which I try to stay away from the religious things, but I've gotten a strong belief that so many Christians out there, they believe that they could just ask for forgiveness and everything's hunky-dory and they can go and do it again. You know, you're not really asking for forgiveness if you're not truly sorry about it.
Forgive me, Father. I, Guido, plugged 69 people last night. Forgive me, I have sinned.
Just don't do it again.
Yeah, but what, Guido, a hitman?
Yes, I know. But I've seen this through so many people that claim to be Christian that they'll just do something wrong to somebody that they care about, and then they'll do it again. It's just a matter of asking forgiveness, and if you truly want forgiveness, then you won't do it again, because you know it's wrong. Continuing to do it anyways is saying, there's no punishment for me. Now, which means Christians don't really believe in the hell that they claim to have. And, you know, that's just not really right. That doesn't make you a good person either, because you ask for forgiveness for the things you've done. But anyways, back onto the topic. You don't tell somebody, you know, I really like you and everything, and you don't. That's just wrong. That's playing with somebody's emotions to say I like you when you don't like somebody. It's wrong to ignore your friends when they try to talk to you. It's wrong to, you know, I don't know. There's just so many things that it's not right to do when you have friends. Especially when you say you care. Well, you know, if you're friends with them on Facebook and they post, well, you know, I had a really bad day yesterday, a real friend would end up saying, well, I hope you have a better day, or what's wrong, you want to talk about it, message me, blah, blah, blah. I've seen people who I don't even know who are willing to be friends like that. Whereas real friends like that don't even make a comment, they don't like a post, they don't message back. That's not true friendship. That's just using a person and claiming you're their friend. And that's wrong. And for somebody who's a Christian, because we're ministers and we have a lot of Christian friends on Facebook.
Let me tell you a story.
There are other ministers too.
Yes.
And you wouldn't believe how many of these ministers are almost downright evil people.
No, let me tell you a story real quick.
I'm sorry to say that because there are some good ones, but
Since we're talking here, here's a quick story. The other day, and we have a nice friend. I supply him internet because, you know, he's got a 15-year-old daughter. They're always nice. Sometimes I'm kind of rude to them.
They can't afford the internet.
Hold on. Yeah, they can't afford the internet, but sometimes I get snippy, and they're like, hey, we need this, can you put this device on it? And it's like, no, I can't. I'm not tying my internet up for another device. But then they go around being kind people that they are. I call them friends, even though sometimes, you know, we make jokes about, yeah, you can smell the BS or the lies a mile away. But the guy came to our aid the other day. When a policeman says, do you think they would damage someone else's property? He said, no, they're good people. They would never do this type of thing. That is what a friend would do. Would stand up and say, no, the other guy's a little loopy, you know, and these people are good people.
And Rita talks about the BS and stuff that we smell off this person. It's because he's always telling us about how almost every single woman in this building that he's had sex with when he's in his, like, 60s to 70s. There's no way that some of these 18, 19-year-old girls that live in the building who have children have had sex with him. Even the manager supposedly has, and the manager is not that type. She's got 4 kids, but she wouldn't sleep with him. He tells us all sorts of stories, and you can smell the BS a mile away. But you know what? He's not hurting us
Bless
with his
you.
lies either. He hasn't done anything to hurt us with his lies. He's a little insulting at times because that's his form of humor. At least we understand that, and so we don't hold it against him because we are friends. True friendship, you look the other way for people's little quirks and stuff and say, you know, that it's annoying that you do that, but you're still my friend, and I'm going to look out for you.
Well, it's like we have a new friend that we're getting closer with. And, for example, you sit there and you say, and me and Erin joke about it, and she jokes too, she's an older woman, and it's like, oh, well, we can cancel today if you're not feeling well. She goes, no, we're not canceling, I need my Burger King! And then she goes into a little happy-go-lucky mode, and we're like, okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah. And by older, Rita's meaning about 30 years older than us.
She's 57.
Her son's about our age. So, and he's not exactly friendly towards us. So we say hi and everything. He's always smiles and polite, but we're not really friends. So, the entire thing that spurred this on is we have a friend on Facebook, a mutual friend, who over Christmas has decided that they just are going to ignore us entirely now. They won't message me back. They won't message Rita back. They've done some other things that have been rather upsetting, which I'm not going to go into details with. They're not people necessarily that we've talked about on here before. We don't want to sling names or anything. And we're not out here to defame anybody or, you know, malign anyone's character. We just want to make people think sometimes about what they consider real friendship. And you got to think about what you're doing to your so-called friends to wonder if you're being a friend or not. I mean, last night me and Rita were walking around, and I know this is semi-unrelated, but it is related too. We were walking the dogs, and it was like 2 o'clock at night.
2 in the morning.
About 2 in the morning.
Right.
Our time. And on the way back, just as we're getting ready to pull into the driveway for our apartment complex, I made a comment to Rita about how she owed me $2.50 for milk. Not thinking about the fact that this is just after Christmas, and I actually only got her about $40 in gifts because I spent so much money on 2 other people. Actually, 4 other people, but I spent so much money, I didn't have much to spend on her, and I'd already helped her pay for her TV, and so I was like, well, you owe me $2.50 for milk because the person at the grocery store accidentally charged me for her milk and my milk, and they both went on my card, and so, but I didn't think about the fact, you know what, she's done enough for me, I really don't need her to pay me back for that milk. Yeah, I'm shortchanged now for the last of the month, but, and I had plans for it, but it doesn't really matter. And actually, that was a crappy thing of me to do, to tell her that she owed me. And I realized later, and I apologized for it. It's like, you know what, that was really wrong of me to do.
Let me put it to you this way. You know how sweet he is? People say, oh, I date someone like him. Yeah, you talk about wanting to date him, but no one would. But here,
I'm fat. Look at these. I mean, come on, I'm bigger than most women.
Anyways.
That's a downside right there. Almost every single woman that meets me is like, they look at these and they say, oh, I'm not interested. I'm almost a full C cup and I'm a guy.
Yeah, well, you have a reason for it too, but we won't go into details.
I have gynecomastia. I've had them since I was a
little
kid.
But you were on estrogen.
In school, in basketball, I'd sit there like this when it was shirt skins, and I'd be like, I'm not playing.
I was going to say, I read a few reports.
Of course, that got me beat up quite a bit.
Not to bring this up, but under deceitfulness, but I read a report recently where guys that want to be full-time cross-dressers are getting breast implants now. I was going to ask Aaron about that a little later.
That's kind of a wrong time to bring it up. It makes me look even worse. No, I'm not a cross-dresser, by the way, people.
No. It was
that was a bad timing.
I was saying I was going to bring it to him because he can explain things better than I can understand.
No, this is not the right video for that.
But I'm trying to tell a story. Today, we went up. I froze my butt off going up to the store. And while we were there, we're leaving. Aaron looked at me and Aaron says, you know, you came up all the way up here. It's below freezing. It's like 30 degrees.
I should have bought her a soda. I know she's got 3/4 of a bottle left, and I had money left for more, But just after we left, I realized, you know what? She walked all the way up here for me in this cold by herself for nothing. I should have gotten her something. Soda would have been decent to get her because she did want one. She was thinking about it in the store. I had the money to buy at least one more. But, I thought about it too late, and she said, no, don't worry about it. She has 3/4 of a bottle at home. And, I guess that's not terrible because in my mind I'm sitting there thinking, well, that works out because I might need to buy 2 more. She might need toilet paper later this month. So, before we end up getting paid, that $2 or so that I have left might actually come in handy for something else. So, I guess it'll probably work out.
God was very good to us, and...
But that's what being friends is about. It's about thinking about them and making sure to try to make your friends happy. I try to make everyone happy.
Like the other day.
Unfortunately, no one really seems to want to make me happy except for Rita, who's really my only friend.
The other day, he came into thinking of me. He looked at me and he said, Rita, how many cards do you need to send out for Christmas? I said, well, I got Heather's and Angela's and all these ones. And I said, I found a stamp. Because Aaron told me, because there's a friend, she always comes back. She's Filipino. Aaron doesn't trust her, but she always comes back to me. So I said, yeah, I sent a card to her, and Aaron said, use what stamps you need. I said, are you going to send it out? Aaron said, no. 1, I bought the $1 box of cards. 2, it's too late because, I've been busy doing other things. No problem. So I took the stamps, posted out what needed to be done,
So I gave her the stamps. I bought $10 stamps and gave her the stamps for her mail. I ended up wasting all my money so that I couldn't afford stamps for myself because I had to do shipping for something, Christmas presents. And so that took precedence. And I still didn't want her to miss her cards, and she wasn't able to go out that day. And she wanted to get them in the mail, so I just said I'll do it at the same time. So I did it at the same time, and so I paid for it. Never asked for that back either. But
and I used to make fun at him before Christmas. I said, you're getting an electric razor so you can shave that beard off. I kept saying that to him.
Got a 2DS. I'm still playing around with it, and thank you for the 2DS.
Well, you didn't have anything for me.
At this point, it seems that the Wi-Fi ability of the 2DS is so horrible that it's almost not right. I mean, sometimes I can connect to the Wi-Fi and sometimes I can't, but I almost have to be standing right next to the router, and that's just wrong. I'm sorry. If you're going to have Wi-Fi in something, you should be able to at least have it so that you can be 20 to 30 feet away from it. You shouldn't have to stand right next to it. That's just kind of really bad. I don't know.
The thing beeped, so do you want me to continue?
No, it just beeped because it's saying it was preheated for the thing.
We're having leftover prime rib and Yorkshire puddings for dinner. But anyways,
we're nearly done, so
anyways,
okay.
All we wanted to say was that in some ways we don't like to say whose name's whose, but Aaron and I feel kind of hurt.
Yeah, and one of my friends bothered me yesterday too. He wanted to get in an argument with me over Washington state marijuana laws. And I'm not going to talk about the Washington state marijuana laws, but the thing is, I hate arguing. I'd rather sit and talk about things. And yet, when you're trying to converse with somebody and they start screaming over you, you can't have a conversation because they're not going to listen to you. They've already decided they're going to cut you off and scream at you. Well, that doesn't work for me, and I'm the person who will sit and have a conversation.
I was like
that.
So
I will never win an argument. It's just not who I am.
I was like that this morning. Unfortunately, me and Aaron I was trying to get my side of my story or my opinion out. He was telling it. So finally we came to a happy medium by just saying, let it go.
We finally were able to converse about it, but she wanted to argue about it, and I tried to argue back, but it's not something I'm good at. I just don't like arguing. I've been an observer my entire life.
And then I told Aaron, and the bottom line is we were at the store, and I says, I'm going to have an alternative, to find an alternative out for that. I'm going to be looking for an alternative than going and doing something illegal. That's how I am. I won't break the law, but a lot of people think,
Yes, because she was trying to argue with me over Washington state tobacco shipping laws.
But, Aaron basically made his side, I made my side, and in the end we just said, what the hell? And then we went and got
and that's
soda.
all because there's this store in one of the Indian reservations that is willing that if you come into their shop and place an order for the course of a year, they'll ship to you every month as long as you ordered it in person. So they'll charge you every month and ship to you, but you have to be
standing
in person
order.
once. It's called a standing order.
When I asked them about that on the law via email,
it's illegal in the state. It's illegal in the state to do a standing order, so they're violating the law. And in trying to force people to come and do that, I'm afraid that it's a setup.
A sting.
And so I was just telling Rita, be very wary of that and don't trust it.
Well,
but she wanted to argue.
Well, I wanted to argue on other things, but I also have my own doubts on it too. So, but that's beside the point. Now,
I was talking to my friend yesterday also, and he was telling me, I brought this up before about the sports guy who said anybody who plays a sports video game is just a douchebag that should get up off their lazy asses and go play a real sport. And I was telling my friend how that guy actually apologized to me and said, you know what, I didn't think about that. And I guess there are some reasons for sports games out there, and not everybody is a douchebag. So he totally apologized and basically said he was sorry for the post he made. And my friend said, that doesn't work with people. You need to yell at them and make fun of them and call them names. And it's like, no, you don't.
Aaron, please explain to the audience about your friend also arguing about the laws when it comes to this.
Oh, yes,
guy.
and national parks allow service dogs in them, everywhere and anywhere with no limitations. He wants me to go with him to various different parks around the country, Crater Lake Park and Mount Baker and Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, various other places. And I said, no, they have laws regarding service dogs on the property, and I can't take them just everywhere with me. And I've actually found out that not only can I not take him everywhere with me, but if I take him to places that he is allowed and he misbehaves, they have a right to take him from me, claim that he's not a service dog, and fine me. And that's on a state level. So, even though this is a national park, I could lose my service dog for taking him with me. That's not something I want to risk, but my friend is going to argue with me and say I'm making excuses and trying to be a hermit and that I need to get out and stop making excuses. I'm not making excuses. That's the thing. He remembers when I was a kid, I used to come up with excuses to keep from leaving my basement. I did not like going out places. I still do not like going out places. I do not want to be around groups of people. I do not like the beach. I like theme parks, but I really don't want to be at the theme park while enjoying the theme park.
The only time I got him out, and this is a story, even if it goes over a certain time, we're good, is when I was in Cleveland, he actually said, you know, Rita, if you want to go to the liquor store, fine. We went and we did dinner, and we walked probably 15, 20 miles that day. When we got home, the first thing we both did was each of us took turns taking a shower.
Well, we walked up to the first liquor store, and that liquor store didn't have what you were looking for, so we walked to another liquor store all the way like 5 miles away or something like that. It was just inside the border of Lakewood, a little place called Simone's, and we'd actually been up on Center Ridge Road, which I'm sure you don't know the demographics.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just in case you happen to be from the Rocky River, Ohio area, you might know Simone's in the Center Ridge area around Giant Eagle and Office Max. But we walked all the way down to Simone's from up there after having walked up there from Detroit and I forgot the name of the street now. But anyways, we walked all the way up there and all over town, and we ended up having a nice dinner and everything. But yeah, we were exhausted. I don't have a problem going out and doing things. It's just I don't want to be where it's body-to-body crowd.
Yes, he was talking about that to my buddy today fishing, and he says, well, we go to the backside of the lake, so...
I'm sorry, probably the worst incidents, one of the worst incidents I ever had in my life was going to a dance club with my friends. I remember the night very well, but the dance club itself, I was pretty much having a panic attack the entire time I was there. I do not do well with
I
groups.
would like to say, since he brought it up, and this is one of the topics, is deceit and lies and excuses. People I know, and I sometimes make an excuse here and there, but I usually try to fix my mistake within a week or 2 weeks, or, you know, try to shake it. But anyways... not with me, but when you say something, or for example, there's how many people is there? There's like 6 people that we know, and those 6 people, you know, some people will be homeless and some people will be on the streets. I mean, we know one in Hawaii. We were nice and we offered to bring them out here. They said, oh no, it's too expensive. We offered other people to come out and visit us,
and they always come up with some form of excuse, whether it's bad timing or somebody's sick in the family or their dog just died or their car's not working, or it's always something. We've known lots of people who are like, yeah, I'd love to come up for a visit. Okay, well, let's arrange sometime, and we do, and then, sorry, can't happen. And we've never actually had anybody visit us that we've met online or anything.
No, we offer and we keep offering. Aaron even lined it up so we could try different dishes out to help to understand some people that we know. Again, nope, excuse.
Yes, we know a diabetic who needed a special diabetic diet, so I was trying out diabetic dishes, so I actually had something to play the good host. That's how I am. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you're diabetic? Here, have this apple pie. It's full of sugar, and I ended up making, I don't know, some dish, shepherd's pie, which has quite a bit of sugar in it. Here you go. You're going to end up eating this and going into a diabetic coma tonight, but that's okay because I'm not cooking you anything special. No, I'm going to go out of my way and I'm going to cook something special. And not only am I going to cook something special, but I'm going to make sure what it is going to taste good. So I got to play around with recipes first, and I've been doing that.
I also wanted to say, I had another friend of mine, two of them actually, asked me, how come I won't fight over a girl with Aaron? That's because we're not that way.
For one, I will never fight over a girl. I would protect her with my life if I cared about her and loved her, but I'm not going to fight for her because she wants somebody to fight for her. That is not something that is ever going to happen in my life, because to me, when it comes to actual love and caring of a person, you don't love somebody because they fought for you. That just means that you find them as being macho, or you find them as being confident in themselves and they know what they want and they're going to seek it. It doesn't mean you love that person at all. In fact, anybody who's going to fight for a woman with their best friend is probably somebody you do not want to know, you do not want to date, and will probably be an abusive piece of shit man. So you do not want somebody who will fight for you. Now, I suppose that if you're at a bar and some guy comes up to you and starts manhandling you and your boyfriend's right there, if he just walks out of the bar with his head down and leaves you there, you don't want him either. But, and you're going to want a guy who's at least going to say, hey, buddy, back off. That's my girlfriend there. Get your hands off her. And if it turns into a fight, then it turns into a fight. But even if he loses the fight, don't sit there and think he's a wimp. At least he tried to stand up for you. And I know women who will actually leave a guy because he lost a fight because some guy was trying to grope them. That's not right. You know, a guy's willing to put his life on the line and fight for you, then you don't just leave him because he couldn't fight well. That's just not right. But that's all a different story again, too. But yeah, me and Rita, neither one will fight for a person, particularly against ourselves, because we've been friends for so long. That would do nothing but turn us against each other and make us enemies.
And I don't want him to be an enemy. He's the only family I got, and frankly, you know. However, as we both agreed, that most people that know us, even though, say, Aaron might show a sign of interest in some girl, the girl thinks that me and Aaron are a couple, therefore we're weird.
And I also won't play the chase game. I will not pursue a person because they want to be pursued. First off, every girl I meet, I presume that she's either married or in a relationship, so I am not going to make a first move there. Now, if I find out they're single and I think there might be an interest, I will chat with them. I will talk to them. If we like each other, then maybe we'll hang out sometime, and maybe things will go from there. It's a slow process, but girls these days, they want somebody that just says, hey, baby, where's your fucking phone number? Oh, here you go. Oh, all right. And then they start texting every 5 minutes for the next, month. And it's like, okay, we'll go out on a date, and, well, that's that. I am not going to be sitting there pursuing and sending flowers and candy, and even though things are being brushed aside.
Talking about pursuing, I had a girl the other day. Thanks for bringing it up, Aaron. She asked me why I wasn't pursuing someone. For one, I'm going to say it blatantly because Aaron knows it and Aaron can see.
Oh, I know
the
exactly
box.
why. It's because the girl that you were asked to pursue is throwing up roadblocks everywhere. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. Blah, blah, blah. Ignore, 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 ignore. Sorry, you can't very well pursue somebody who won't talk to you. You can't very well pursue somebody who is going to say, oh, well, I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that. You know they're just cheap, lame excuses.
Or they use their sister. Oh, I gotta ask. Oh, I gotta ask.
I gotta ask this person if I can talk to you. I gotta ask that person if I can talk to you. I gotta get permission from my doctor first to see if I can talk to you. I'm gonna wash my hair. Oh, I've been washing my hair for 4 days now. Yeah, okay, 4 straight days.
Oh,
you
don't
can't
forget.
talk to me, and your doctor still hasn't given permission.
And then me and Aaron, we talk, and I say, I accept the person, them being disabled. He does too. So if they're sleeping 3 or 4 days at a time, that's fine. The problem is there's a roadblock.
I gotta wait until my dog walks on his hind legs and farts out the alphabet while wearing a fez cap and walking a monkey on a string. Yeah, it's never going to happen. So you cannot pursue that type of person.
Yes.
No matter how much you care about that person, if they're not willing to even try, you can't pursue somebody who won't try, who won't give in. And that's why I don't play the game, because certain women out there I've met, they'll want you to pursue them. They'll make that they want you to pursue them, but they'll put up their hand and stop you every chance they get and act like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. And then they want you to find a way to get through their defenses and try to rush off with them anyways.
Don't forget my sister.
Well, what am I going to do if I was in Rita's position? What am I going to do other than find a way to spend all my money to go and visit this person where I may not even be welcome, and try to whisk them off their feet where they're probably still going to try to put up roadblocks because it's still not quite what they want. Sorry, if you're looking for Prince Charming, go and read a book. Because Prince Charming doesn't exist in this world. There might be certain princes out there, but not one woman wants those so-called princes because they're not attractive or they don't have money. They may have the biggest, most kindest, most caring heart in the world, but they're junk because they don't fit this standard or that standard, or they don't fly to the moon on a regular basis and bring back gold bars and green cheese and say, Happy New Year! Here, have some pearls and oysters and everything else you want. I'm sorry, Prince Charming's just not something that anybody's going to find unless they decide to try to find somebody who actually fits with them and is a caring, kind person regardless. That's not what people want anymore.
No, it's money, security, and looks.
Yep. So anyways, we've gone on almost half an hour here, so
I just wanted to say,
you're probably all turned this off 10 minutes ago. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching.
Please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments in the box if you like. And please add me as a friend if you like. Thank you and have a nice day.